Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is my third episode, I believe. This one is a little bit different than the others in the sense of I didn't really plan this. This video was inspired by a TikTok that I just came across. As you guys know, I'm a NICU mom with my baby, a second time NICU mom. The TikTok kind of just brought up a lot of emotions for me, and I really wanted to talk about it and kind of just get a conversation started for other NICU parents who are following my channel and my content. I'm gonna place a little clip of the TikTok right about here. Today's topic of conversation is NICU trauma. So there's a lot that goes into being the parent of a NICU baby. A lot of traumatic experiences. Obviously, the NICU is there to protect your baby, get your baby healthy, fix any little issues that they have going on at birth. So, it's a place where you don't exactly want to be, but since you have to be there, you're grateful for it. Obviously, you want your baby to excel and progress and do well in the NICU, but that doesn't change the fact that it is traumatic for both baby and mom and dad. There are so many things that go into NICU trauma. I just kind of want to talk about what I personally have been dealing with. This is my second baby that was born and had to go straight to the NICU. My second son, as you guys know, he was born with some genetic conditions and he passed away last year. Thankfully, my third son was not born with any genetic conditions. He's pretty healthy. I'm very proud of that. I'm very happy that he is very healthy, and this time around I don't exactly have to kind of live in fear of my son's life constantly. However, he was born 11 weeks early. He was born a preemie at 29 weeks. Because of that, he has now spent basically his first 2 months. By the time this airs, he'll probably be at the 2-month mark. He's 7 weeks now. In another 6 days, he'll be 2 months old. The experience of giving birth to a baby and not being able to have them in the room with you, it's not a good feeling. I have seen so many other moms, and thankfully I did get to experience that with my first son, but I've now had 2 other children that I did not get to experience that with. Well, even with my second son, I had him in the room with me, and on his second day, the day after he was born, then he was taken to the NICU. With this baby, he was born 29 weeks. So I didn't have him in the room with me at all. It was an emergency C-section. The middle of the night, he was whisked away. From that moment on, I was kind of allotted time with my baby. Once I was released from the hospital, I came here to the Ronald McDonald House where I'm staying now, and I was able to go and visit with my baby every day. At first, honestly, I was just super grateful for the time of finally being able to be with him all day. Obviously, I still am, but it's a lot. Normally, when you have a baby, you spend your couple days in the hospital, you take them home, and you start building your routine and living life with your baby, learning your baby in the comfort of your home. And it's just a beautiful experience. When your baby goes to the NICU, you're robbed of that experience. You don't get to go home and do all the normal things. I have to take time away from my son to do the nesting process. With him being so early and me being in the hospital prior to him being born, I wasn't able to get our room together or anything like that. So I've had to take a few days away from him to get his nursery together, to put together his furniture, wash his clothes, all of those things, so that when he does get out, he's welcomed into a fresh, clean space with all his clean things and everything is just taken care of. I don't like the fact that I've had to take time away from my baby to do those things, but what can you do? I will say it's kind of an empty feeling, when I am putting together his furniture and stuff. It's the fact that he's almost 2 months old and he's never slept in his own bed yet. He hasn't worn any of his own clothes at home yet. He's been wearing hospital clothes still. You just feel very robbed of time, of the experience. Some babies are lucky enough to be in the NICU for a week, depending on, what their ailments are. Some babies stay in the NICU for up to a year. I think it turns into the PICU at that point, but some babies stay in there for a long time and their families have to continue to just go and visit them on a daily basis or however often they can. That's another thing. If you live far from the hospital, which I do, if not for the Ronald McDonald House, I would have to see my baby when I could. That is a traumatizing thing, and you can't understand it unless you've actually gone through it. Like right now, I am, like, once I wrap this filming, I'm gonna go and sit with my baby and be with him, and that's my favorite thing to do. I do that every day. But it's hard, you know? I have a friend who recently had a set of twins, and sometimes she'll make comments. I don't think she does it on purpose, obviously, but let's say she'll text me in the morning and I'm still sleeping because I stayed at the NICU until 2 a.m. the night before. She's like, oh, you're supposed to be up. Moms are up at this time. You just had a baby. And that's hurtful because I would be up with my baby doing what everyone else is doing with their newborns, but I can't because my baby's in the NICU. I don't have a set schedule right now. I just kind of am in limbo. It's still not really set when he's gonna get out. And you just look at other moms and they're living your dream. They're taking care of their babies at home, and you don't get to do that. So it's a very emotional thing. You're constantly going back and forth thinking about the time that you've lost or are losing with your baby. You're constantly worried. The beeping of the monitors all day, it's stressful. If your baby, if their heart rate drops, or if they, you know, aren't breathing at 100%, the monitors are going off. You're scared, you're worried. My son doesn't have major health issues, but some people's babies are in a critical state when it comes to their health. Some babies have heart issues, brain issues, other issues that are like major. You want to be strong for your baby, but it's scary. My second son, his genetic condition was very severe. He had epilepsy as well as a few other conditions to go along with his genetic condition. And so, you know, my baby constantly having seizures, that was the thing in his first couple months, and it was terrifying. It was scary as hell, and I wouldn't wish it on any mom. My son was beautiful, and I'm so grateful for the time that I had with him. But I constantly lived in fear that something would go wrong with my son, and that the inevitable, which did happen last year, my son would pass away. I carry a little bit of that trauma with me with my third son. I'm scared sometimes unnecessarily. I'm afraid that if I take too much time away from him, if I take more than a day away from him, that something bad could happen. I'm constantly just thinking of what could happen, and I think that's something that all NICU parents can relate to. You're constantly wondering, is my baby going to be okay? You hear, you know, horror stories about nurses hurting babies in the NICU. You just have to pray that that's never going to happen to your baby. You have to pray that the doctors are doing their best. You constantly have to pray that everyone is on their A game in this hospital and that they're going to give your baby the best care possible. There's just so much that goes into it. And I know for other NICU parents, I'm sure you guys can add in, you know, to this conversation and touch on things that I'm kind of forgetting to touch on right now. But I think it's mostly just living in fear and living in a sense of missing out, feeling like things are going to be delayed when you get home, wondering how things are going to be when you get home, especially like if it's your first baby in the NICU, wondering how am I going to navigate this when we do get home and I don't have the support of the nurses. You're afraid that when you take your baby home, something might go wrong and they have to go immediately back to the hospital. It is constant. It's constant. You cannot get away from it. I've heard so many parents say that even when you get home with your baby, the trauma doesn't go away. Of course, you learn to live with it. You learn to kind of move on, and prayerfully your baby does well. They rock it at home, and they're able to just move forward and progress even at home. And that's what every parent wishes for their baby. For some parents, it doesn't go that way. And those are the parents that I made this video for. I made this video for all of us NICU parents. Let me just say that. I just want to talk about it because I don't feel like it's talked about enough. Not many people understand, again, because you don't understand this until you've been through it. It's a silent trauma that a lot of parents carry, and it's something that most people don't understand. They'll say things that may trigger it, just make you feel bad or sad, and it just really sucks. There's so much that could be said about NICU trauma. I mean, for me, it's new trauma built upon old trauma. The other day I had a nurse, rush into the room because my son was desatting, and she just snatched my baby out of my hands. When you're a NICU parent, you just feel like you're not in control, like there's not much that you can do. You feel very helpless. Obviously, the doctors try to make sure that you feel as involved and in control as possible, but that's just sometimes not always the case. It's just hard. It's hard. You want to just take your baby and go. That's how I feel every day. I sit there and I hold my son and I look at him, and he's so beautiful and he loves being in my arms, and I love him so much, and I just get the urge to take him and go. I just want to take him and go, but he's not ready to go home yet. It's just something that you have to live with. And yeah, I don't even know, because I'm going to start getting emotional. So I'm going to cap it right here. I just want to say to my fellow NICU moms and dads, my prayers go out for your babies. I pray that all of our babies make it home safely and they progress when they get home, no matter what their ailments. My heart goes out to all of you. Just know that if no one else sees us, we see each other. I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for the NICU nurses that take their jobs super seriously, and they love on these babies when their parents can't be there. And they are a huge reason why these babies are able to progress so well and come home safely and smoothly. And to the neonatal doctors, you guys are also rock stars. Thank you so much for doing all that you do for our babies. And to the NICU babies, specifically, I know my son is a freaking rock star. He has done so well despite getting sick a couple times in the NICU, having a surgery. He's done so well being a sweet little preemie. He went from 2 pounds at birth to now 5 pounds at 7 weeks old. So he's been doing super great. Super proud of him. The NICU babies are great. They're super strong. They kick ass in the NICU, and it's great. I did want to share a little bit of a story. It's not too much of a story because I don't really know what happened, but about a week ago I was sitting in the NICU with my son. I take my laptop with me every day, and so we listen to music, we watch movies, TV shows, and stuff like that. And I was really enjoying my time with my son, feeling very lucky, to be doing so. And I heard a mother screaming. There must have been something terribly wrong because she was crying and screaming for someone to come and help with her baby. And all of a sudden, the pod flooded with nurses. I was afraid to ask anyone what had happened, but I just immediately went into prayer for her because it sounded like the screams that I was screaming last year when I lost my son. We have to understand that NICU trauma usually still ends well, but sometimes it doesn't. And for the parents who are in the NICU with their babies and it does not end well, I see you as well, and I love you as well, and I pray for you. I pray for your comfort and your healing, because losing a child is not easy at all. It is one of the most devastating experiences one can feel. And you don't ever get over that. You will never get over losing a child. Even if you have more kids. I named my third son after my second son because I feel like my son sent me this baby. I think about my son every day. And I miss him every day. And sometimes I wonder if I'm gonna be a good mom to this baby, because I still feel so heartbroken. I want my son back. I want my baby son to have his big brothers, both of them, in his life. There are NICU moms who have miscarried, or they have stillborn babies, and they've gone on to have another baby, and that baby might have ended up in the NICU. There's so much trauma associated with having your baby have to stay in the hospital after they're born. For all the parents who have experienced not only either having your baby in the NICU or losing a child, the strength that it takes to continue to get up every day and live life and be there for the kids that you do have, it's amazing. And it only comes from God. And so, yeah. I'm gonna get ready to go see my baby. And I hope that everyone has a good day today. And if you know a NICU parent, if you are a NICU parent, give them a hug today. Send them a text and let them know that you're thinking of them. Encourage them. Because again, it's not easy. It is not easy to have to visit your baby instead of just being with them every day. It's not easy for your baby to start off fighting to get to a place where other babies just are. So, thank you so much for listening to me rant and cry today. Not sure what my next video will be or when it will be. But I just wanted to say this and put this out there. So, thank you so much. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.